What's up, guys? Welcome to this week's weekly episode of Wristre Wednesdays. This week, we're going to be going over the topic of how to find the right watch for mint. This is going to be two parts, and the first one is going to be going over the types of styles that there are in the timepiece world. I debated for a little bit if I should actually make the topic on this video because at the end of the day, there is no right or wrong answer, and it's all going to come down to your complete preference on the watch that you like. But how I did figure I could help is break down the different styles that there are because the timepiece world is super vast. So to start us off, I've narrowed it down to 5 main watches, or watch styles I should say, but definitely not limited to field watches, aviator watches, diver watches, as well as dress watches and race watches. Hard to believe, but most of the watch styles that we love today were originally designed with some type of functionality behind them. In fact, 3/5 of the watch styles that we'll be going over today were originally designed to have some type of military use for them. I know watches have more so become some type of status quo as well as an accessory, but fast forward 100 years so, we've definitely seen some evolution behind these types of watch styles. The first type of watch style that we're going to be going over is the dress watch. The dress watch is normally going to have more of a sleeker design versus other watches, and it's going to have a thinner case so it can fit comfortably under some type of dress shirt. It's not uncommon to see the dress watch be made out of precious metals for the case, as well as have far less complications than other style watches. You're usually just going to see the hour hand, the second hand, as well as the minute hand, and at most a chronograph or a date. A few popular examples of dress watches are going to be your IWC Portugueser, as well as a Ulysse Nardin Executive, and last but least, the Cartier de Calibre. The second type of timepiece that we're going to be going over today is the field watch. The field watch dates back to World War I, and in my opinion, looks the most functional out of all timepieces. Usually, you'll find the field watch sitting on a larger case size and a high contrast face. The field watch usually sits on some type of nylon strap and or fabric strap, and the main characteristic of the field watch is the hacking hand. The hacking hand was originally designed for infantrymen so that they can synchronize their timepieces while they're on the battlefield. One of the most popular field watches, and probably the most famous, is the Rolex Explorer, which is actually the first watch that has been made to the top of Mount Everest, which is pretty cool. A few examples of the field watch are going to be the Omega Railmaster, as well as the Rolex Explorer and the Tudor Ranger. The third timepiece that we're going to be going over today is the Aviator Watch style. The Aviator Watch was actually evolved from the original field watch. They share similarities within the fact that they have a high contrast face and a large case size, but they start to differ with some of the complications. Some of the different complications that you can find on an Aviator Watch are going to be a chronograph as well as a dual time zone complication, and lastly, you have a whiz wheel. A whiz wheel, a circular slide, which is used for pilots to make quick calculations for time, fuel, and distance, as well as some unit conversions. Pretty cool. A few different types of aviator watches are going to be the IWC Big Pilot, as well as the Breitling Navitimer, and last but not least, the Rolex Air King. The fourth type of timepiece style that we're going to be going over today is the dive watch, and it's probably my personal favorite as well. The dive watch, I'd say, is the most popular variant out of all the timepiece styles, and almost everyone probably has some type of dive watch. Dive watches are usually up to 100 meters water resistant at least, and they can even go up to 4,000 meters to be water. One key characteristic of the dive watch is going to be the unidirectional rotating bezel. The reason why it doesn't rotate both ways is just in case you hit it while you're diving, you don't actually think you have more air than you do, and then you get stuck down under the water with no air. A few popular dive watches are going to be a Rolex Submariner, as well as the Panerai Submersible, and last but not least, the Rolex Deep Sea Dweller. The last type of watch style that we're going to be going over today are the racing watches. The racing watches are unique in design because they were not originally designed for military use. So they had a lot more freedom when designing the actual style of the watch, and you'll find that they have brighter colors on them and they're more flashy in design. Two complications that most racing watches are going to have are going to be a tachymeter bezel as well as a chronograph. Chronograph is perfect for tracking lap times, as well as the tachymeter bezel is perfect for tracking distance and speed. Those two complications together make the perfect race watch. A few popular race watches are the Tag Heuer Monaco, as well as the Rolex Daytona, and lastly, we have the Omega Speedmaster. Tune in next week, guys, for part 2 of the series on how to pick the right watch for you. We're going to be going over case sizes and how to make sure the watch fits great on your wrist. Also, if you haven't yet, make sure to sign up for the Wristre Coalition newsletter. Every Wednesday, we send out these helpful videos, as well as Sundays, we do industry news and helpful tips, as well as hot deals. If you guys like the video, make sure to subscribe and drop a comment below on what your favorite style watch is. We'll see you guys next week.